This week marks 100 days since United States President Donald Trump took office. On the campaign trail last fall, then candidate Trump sent a letter to pro-life leaders committing to 4 pro-life promises. He promised to nominate pro-life justices to the Supreme Court, sign the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act into law, defund Planned Parenthood as long as they perform abortions, and make the Hyde Amendment permanent law. We will be joined shortly by the chair of the Trump campaign's pro-life coalition, Marjorie Dannenfelser, and by Sarah Huckabee Sanders from the White House to discuss pro-life accomplishments in the first 100 days. But before we get to that, we want to bring you important pro-life news that could have a big political impact. For the first time, the head of the Democratic National Committee says all Democrat candidates must support abortion. According to a statement in the Huffington Post, DNC chairman and Jesuit-educated Catholic Tom Perez said every Democrat, like every American, should support a woman's right to make her own choices about her body and her health. That is not negotiable and should not change city by city or state by state. To be clear on church teaching, here is a statement from the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops' resolution on abortion. No Catholic can responsibly take a pro-choice stand when the choice in question involves the taking of innocent human life. Perez's statement came after Senator Bernie Sanders supported Heath Mello for Omaha, Nebraska mayor. Mello, a Democrat, has previously voted pro-life. For reaction and analysis, we are joined by Marjorie Dannenfelser, president of the Susan B. Anthony List. She also chaired candidate Trump's pro-life coalition. Marjorie, thank you for being here.
I always love being here with you. You know that.
So what has happened? Has the Democratic Party just completely abandoned pro-lifers?
Well, I think there's a strong note of clarity on what the position really is. I don't think it's a new thing that the party has abandoned pro-lifers. What's new, it is very vocal, is very strong, it is very offensive to the many rank-and-file pro-life Democrats that are out there. There's an enormous disconnect between Washington, D.C., DNC, leaders of the Democratic Party, and the rank-and-file pro-lifers. A third of Democrats self-identify as pro-life. A third of state legislators in 20 states voted for the 20-week pain-capable bill. There is a very large chunk of those voters that are part of the Trump pro-life victory. So there's clearly a disconnect, and there's clearly a problem that they have in the Democratic Party, and there's going to be a day of reckoning.
And it seems that the Democrats should want to cater to pro-life voters if, in fact, nearly 30% of Democrats are pro-life.
Well, I think you have to think about it how they do, and that is they see this as a humanitarian effort on their part. They believe that we are telling a woman what she can do with her own body, and it's wrong. They do not believe that there are 2 people in every decision. So understanding it that way, we would be incredibly unreasonable to be building a movement based on what we know is true. So I believe that it's the power of their convictions that's behind this. I don't think it's political. But what it does have with this immoral stance is a very detrimental political effect. And it's already been shown to be true in previous elections. We have a majority pro-life House, majority pro-life Senate, majority pro-life state legislatures, and a pro-life White House. Now you tell me whether it's a good idea to be pro-life or not in this political atmosphere.
And yet at the same time, in an exclusive interview with Meet the Press, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi said, of course Democrats can be pro-life. Is that true, or are we seeing some disunity within the Democratic Party?
Well, she's very artful in the way she discusses the pro-life issue. She's been there a long time. She calls herself a devout Catholic. She's a devout Catholic that wants Roe versus Wade to stay in place, and she votes for every single abortion that is. In the next sentence, she went on to say that she's worked with some pro-life Democrats in the past, and they were really nice people, but there's no way that they will budge on this particular issue. I do know that when we were very successful in unelecting a lot of people who had said they were pro-life, that were Democrats, and then they voted the wrong way. There was no tears shed by the leadership and by Nancy Pelosi at that point. It was good riddance to sort of purify the party and get those people out.
Also this week, President Trump marked 100 days in office as the chair of his pro-life national coalition. Has he accomplished what you had hoped he would by this point?
I don't think that it'd be possible to do much more, to be perfectly honest. And when you look at past administrations, there's no comparison. I think it begins with who is in the White House, and I certainly mean the president and the vice president, but I mean all the staff. The atmosphere there, and I've been there many times and met with the president and the vice president and the staff, is very collegial. It is, we have shared aims and objectives. It is, roll up your sleeves and get the job done. Their administration began with the first White House presence at the March for Life ever, succeeded immediately by overturning the Mexico City policy, then signing a bill to overturn Obama's denial of states' rights in defunding Planned Parenthood on the state level. And on and on. And so, and on and on. What we can't forget, the confirmation of Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, which some would say that would be enough for a whole administration. Now, I wouldn't say that, but it is an enormous move, and we might see another one coming very soon.
Something that we will be watching closely. Marjorie Dannenfelser, president of the Susan B. Anthony List, thank you.
Thank you.